Okay, this is a video on what we have in our morning basket for the unit topic of space for my 4 kids, which are 4 years old, 3-year-old twins and a 2-year-old. So we do morning basket basically as a theme, and I just put a ton of books in there on the theme that are age appropriate that will help basically just extend our kids' knowledge on the topic through basically a Charlotte Mason approach of really good quality literature and then narrating back what they've learned. So we read the book and we have lots of discussions. We don't write it down or anything. It's just really not necessary at the age of my kids. And there's no need, in our opinion, but just those conversations so that they can internalise that new knowledge is basically what we do. So we started off the unit with The Magic School Bus, Out of This World, which was a really good book to start off with. My kids probably didn't grasp what was happening though. We read it again a little bit later in the unit once they'd read through some of the other books, once they had an understanding of what space was and asteroids and all of that stuff, and they enjoyed it a lot more then. So I would definitely recommend it, but probably hold off reading it until you've actually introduced space a little bit more. Our second book that we dug into was this Earth book from DK Find Out. They also have a space version, I just didn't get it. We have quite a few of this range and I absolutely love it. The Find Out level is in Australia really affordable because they're only $5 and you can get them from Kmart. And they are just full of great information at that kind of 4 to 8-year-old level, I would say. It's just kind of that introduction and a great place to start on the different topics the books cover. We feel that it covers like the information in a really user-friendly way, straight to the point in terms that the kids really understand. So definitely happy with that. We just covered the space elements in this. We didn't go through the whole book because obviously we weren't doing Earth itself, we were doing space, but we did a few of the pages as well as the solar system page and the atmosphere and all of that, just so the kids understood that we live on this particular planet in our solar system and why. Moving along, we had 3 of the Usborne books. We had the Fold Out Solar System, the Look Inside Space, and the Big Book of Stars and Planets. I'll start off with this one because this is the book we read next. My kids absolutely loved this, and often it got repicked, and our book basket is available to the kids all the time, so they'll often just grab this one out and go through the flaps and look at the pictures, and often bring it over to me as well to read what the flaps say. So it's just a book with a ton of little flaps and just facts about basically space, the International Space Station, stars, sun, all of that. And it was just a really good book, a really good way to introduce all of the big topics, I guess, in a really child-friendly way. And again, like I said, kids just love flaps. Obviously with flaps and such young kids, you can see here, there is some damage to the book. Our books are used, so they don't sit on a bookshelf. A 2-year-old, 3-year-old and 4-year-old are going to do a little bit of damage. I expect that. I just stick it up when I can and explain that we need to try and be gentle and that they're delicate, but at the end of the day I'd prefer my kids to read the books and actually interact with them than them to sit on a shelf nice and pretty. Do I think it's too young to get the flap type books? No. Honestly, if they wrecked this, I would have just probably bought another one for next year. I'd prefer to get it and introduce it at this young age because my kids definitely benefited from it. So even with the flaps, and even if they get a little wrecked, I don't mind, and I wouldn't have even minded if I had to replace it for when we redo this unit next year, which we won't. It's like some of the flaps are bent and some of them are ripped out, but I just try to sticky tape them back in if I caught them accidentally hurting a flap. Moving on to the Big Book of Stars, loved this book again. It was just a really good book to introduce the solar system. The look inside space covered a lot of topics, so the solar system wasn't like the sun and everything wasn't a huge topic in it, whereas this goes into more depth about the solar system itself. It has a big fold out of the whole solar system, so as you can see, has the sun and then all the planets, the asteroid belt with Ceres, the dwarf planet, and then it goes on to the gas planets and the dwarf planets out on the outer edges as well. So it goes over all of those, it goes into the sun, everything like that. So we really liked this book. It was a really engaging book for my kids with all the illustrations. We read it over and over again a number of times. Okay, and then we got this one, which I would not buy again. If you get this one, it has the fold out. You don't need this one, in my opinion. It does have more detail in the it has all the satellites and everything that we've put out into space. There's a good picture with a lot of the satellites. But for 4-year-olds, or if you have young kids, I don't think that's really necessary, and your money's probably better spent somewhere else than on kind of doubling up on those two. Moving along, the next book we did was the Planetarium. I have a review on this book itself, so I won't go into too much detail, but basically we absolutely love this. This is where my kids probably learnt the most information. It's a really great book. We got the junior edition just because my kids are young and I couldn't actually access the full edition, to be honest. I got these when all was going on in the world and it was actually really hard to get some books. So we got the junior edition. That was all that was available in Australia at the time, but I'm really happy with the choice. I will definitely upgrade to the full edition at some point, but this is great for now. It has more than enough information. We also got My Journey to the Stars, which was really good, just to give that overview of astronauts and the International Space Station. We also used the NASA's app to track the space station so that we could go out and have a look at it as it flew over in the sky. We did that a few times and went out and watched it fly past. You don't have very long. It's about 2 minutes to 4 minutes sometimes that you can see it, and it zooms past. Also used apps to actually go out and see the planets in the sky as well, which was really neat. My kids really enjoyed that. With this book, again, really great age-appropriate book. There was a few things which a lot of you reviews say about his parents fighting and stuff like that, which I thought was a bit like, I don't know if that really needed to be included, but it's in there, and I mean, my kids didn't really care either way. Another book that is really great that we actually didn't buy, but I'm definitely going to get next time, is what is it? Okay, take 3. Apparently somebody had to go to the toilet again, so that's all done now. So the other book that's very similar to this is I Am Neil Armstrong, and I'm definitely going to get that. We watched a read aloud on YouTube and it's amazing, and I actually prefer that one over this, to be honest, because it goes into the moon landing, obviously, which I really like. I mean, this is great because it does, like, obviously about the International Space Station, which is important as well. So there's that one. And our last one is this, which is a very fact book. It's got real images about the moon. We didn't actually read all of this information. It was a bit heavy for the kids, lost interest easy, but we definitely got bits and pieces and looked through the pictures, which was really cool. Another book that we actually got from the library was, I can't remember what it was called, but it was basically a book of photography from space and the International Space Station. And that was really, really cool because we were able to get some of these books where they were just illustrations of the planets and actually have a look and compare them to the real life photography, which was a really neat thing. And my kids absolutely love to just flick through the pictures and say, oh, what's this? And it's a great way to just reinforce that knowledge that we'd been learning and talk about the different things we were learning about. We, like I said, in addition to all of the books, we also did the apps and went outside and had a look at the stars, and we watched the moon cycle. We also did a paper mache solar system, which was really fun and a great way for the kids to develop fine motor skills and everything, doing the paper mache and the painting and talk about the colours of the different planets and the size, how big do we blow up the balloons, everything like that. So that was a really fun way for us to just use these books. We'd get them out as reference points when we're doing little activities like that. But yeah, that was our little basket about space. If you have any questions, pop them down in the comments below. And thank you for watching.